Hello everyone, on this video I will explain everything about the main three groups of health insurance services in Ecuador. Let's talk about IESS, Health Minister Services, and also private insurance. How it works, also any question you may have, you can write on the message here on the video, or I will include my personal information in case that you want to send me any question regarding yourself, okay? Let's start with IESS. IESS is part of the government health insurance services. The IESS is the health insurance that every worker in Ecuador, employee, pay part of the income to the IESS as part of the Ecuadorian law. Everybody pays 17% of the income to be able to use the IESS. Now, the IESS are also available for foreigners, but what's important to consider? You need to have your cédula or your Ecuadorian ID to be able to join the IESS. Then, first, you need to start the visa application, the cédula application. On the cédula application process, you will need a private insurance certificate. Then, for those purposes, you can use, I don't know, a minimum private insurance contract just to be able to get your cédula and then move to the IESS. If it is your final decision, because IESS doesn't have a limit on coverage, okay? Keep in mind, they could pay maximum amount of coverage with no limits. If you need a treatment for 10,000, 15, 20, 50,000 or complex surgeries are available, okay? No deductibles, no copays. That's how the IESS could work, okay? But take a look on the website. You can try to find information about IESS because not is easy to deal with IESS. What I am talking about? First, you can't go to see a specialist directly, to give you an idea. Then, if you have any medical need, you need to go first to a general practitioner doctor. The general practitioner will order some tests. You need to wait a little bit for the test, depending what it is. Then you need to go to see him back, and he will determine if you may need a specialist or he will give you a treatment. Are English speaker doctors available in the IESS system? Sometimes, but not always. You will be able to see the same general practitioner doctor. Probably you may go today with a doctor. In 1 month you need another appointment. Maybe you will go to a different doctor. Then those are situations that you need to consider with IESS. Let's talk about emergencies and hospitalizations. Under the IESS, you will never be able to use private clinics without a prior authorization from IESS. If you have an emergency, if you need medical assistance and you have IESS, you need to go to the IESS hospitals, okay? Then, there at the emergency room, you will meet a lot of people. We need to be clear on that. Sometimes when you have life risk emergencies and the doctor said that you are under the red category and it's a life risk emergencies, they will try to assist you quickly, okay? But for a broken arm, for example, you will need to wait. You will need to wait until the doctors are available and the doctors doesn't have life risk emergencies. Then, IESS could be cheaper. Why? Because as a foreigner, as soon as you got your cédula, you can join the IESS as a voluntary, okay? How it works? All the Ecuadorian workers will pay 17% from his income. I am paying 17% from my income, but a foreigner are available to choose the 17% from the minimum Ecuadorian income, that right now, if I am correct, will be $485. Then 17% from $485. That will be around $84, $85, okay? Then not as expensive. Will cost the same for somebody that have 45 years old or 85 years old. No limit age on the IESS, okay? Then those are some advantage on the IESS, but again, you need to understand how it works, because it could be difficult to deal with the IESS. Later, I will suggest you something that you may use as a strategy to manage better the IESS. Now, how you can join the IESS? It's easy. If you already have your cedula, you need to go in the IESS website. There, on the IESS website, there is an option that you need to choose to join the IESS. Basically, you click there and you start as a registration with your information: full name, cedula number, address, email address, phone number, and then you need to choose. I want to join IESS as a volunteer, and then you choose 17% from the Ecuadorian basic income, and that's it. Probably you can do it in minutes. I will make another video. Subscribe to my channel, because I will make another video explaining you on my computer how to join the IESS from your computer. It's really easy. Then remember, IESS, no limits on coverage, no limits on age. The preconditions, this is important, keep in mind, pre-existing conditions will be covered after 3 months, okay? And also medicines are covered, but unfortunately we do not have too much medicines available under the IESS, definitely. When I will recommend to consider IESS, when you have important pre-existing conditions that probably may need expensive treatments, expensive surgeries, as heart conditions. If later I will need probably an open heart surgery, it's a good idea join the IESS. If I have back issues and probably will need back surgeries, brain surgeries, it's a good idea join the IESS. Why? Because under private insurance you have limits. I will talk about that later, okay? But this is how the IESS works. Remember, only IESS hospitals, no private clinics, no private doctors, and also you need to follow the same way to be able to see a specialist. First, general practitioner, then he will determine if you need to go to see a specialist. How long time may take to go to see a specialist? It will depend. If it's a cardiologist, gastroenterologist, traumatologist, maybe 2 months, 3 months, depending. And if you need a hip replacement, you will need to wait, okay? And you need to be patient, because IESS works slow. Why? I will tell you in another video. But in my opinion, the IESS could be the most important insurance company in Ecuador, but unfortunately not what is happening right now. Now, the other main health insurance service in Ecuador could be the health minister. Okay, the health minister have available around all Ecuador hospitals, public hospitals, and medical centers. Okay, the health minister will take care of all the vaccines. If you need a flu vaccine, if you need a different type of vaccines, also vaccines for to travel around the world, for yellow fever, all the vaccines are for free available on the health minister medical centers for free. And the hospitals are also free hospitals, free service But, of course, a lot of people that can't afford treatments are there on the public hospitals trying to get medical assistance. Then, I am telling you that information more if you know, I don't know, a foreigner or somebody that can't afford IESS or can't afford a private insurance. Of course, he can use the health minister services. How can I know where those hospitals are located? On the website. You can find the health minister website and go to see the hospitals available in each city in Ecuador. Also in small places you have some medical centers available. Okay, this is the second health insurance or health service. Could be the health minister service is more free service for people that an insurance. IESS is an insurance, but in my opinion, the health minister service is available for free for people that doesn't have insurance and doesn't have money to afford treatments. And the last one is the private insurance. Private insurance are important because are very flexible and you are available to use private doctors, private clinics, emergency room immediately, and you have different levels of coverage available. Then, if you want something basic for your visa and cedula process, you have available. If you want more coverage, $50,000, $100,000 coverage are available. If you want coverage abroad, are available, But, of course, depending how much coverage you need or you are looking for, depending on your age, okay, will be the premium that you will need to pay for private insurance. Now, what about waiting periods and what about conditions under the private insurance? Waiting periods, emergency, life risk emergencies, 24 hours. Life risk emergencies. If I started my private policy and I have stomach pain and I want to justify like a emergency and be covered, doesn't work, okay? Because on the emergency room, the doctor will fill out a form called 008 form, where he will include your symptoms, he will include what's happening with you, and then later the insurance company will read it and will determine if it's a life risk emergency. If it is, you will be covered in 24 hours, okay? Doctor appointments, 1 month, okay? Hospitalizations, 3 months, if you need to stay in a hospital. Now, you may are thinking, okay, if I have an emergency, life risk emergency, why hospitalization have 3 months waiting period? Emergency, 24 hours, life risk emergency, but as soon you leave the emergency room and you need to go up to a regular room just to stay to see how you continue feeling, the emergency stops and the room and food not will be covered before 3 months. This is the waiting period for hospitalization. Then just room and food will be covered after 3 months. And now the most important waiting period in my opinion, the pre-existing waiting period. The Ecuadorian law, the Ecuadorian regulation, the Ecuadorian insurance law determines that the pre-existing waiting period are 2 years. Okay, then the insurance company during the first 2 years not will pay for pre-existing conditions. What happens after the 2 years? The Ecuadorian law determines that the insurance companies will pay 20 Ecuadorian basic salaries. That's the limit, okay, to cover pre-existing conditions. Then after 2 years, you will get coverage around 20 Ecuadorian basic salaries, could be around $9,800 right now. It will be the coverage for pre-existing conditions. Okay, then let's go back and talk a little bit about IESS. And I told you before, if you have important pre-existing conditions, you may consider IESS, because $9,800 after 2 years not will be enough money for an open heart surgery, for a brain surgery, for a back surgery, or for intensive care unit related with a pre-existing condition. Now, what you should do to improve a little bit the IESS service. Remember, IESS right now during the 2026 probably will be around $84. Okay, I will pay $84. But what I recommend you, get a supplementary private plan. Okay, a smaller plan, no expensive plan. Okay, that will work together with the IESS. How it works? You got a smaller plan that will help you to deal with doctor appointments, with small emergencies, with a broken arm, with a kidney stone emergency. You know, all those type of emergencies will be in around $3,000, $4,000, you know, a few days, 3 days, 4 days hospitalization will be covered, you know, and you can get medical assistance privately when you combine IESS and private insurance. Then you will start your treatment here on the private side. Then if you need more coverage, let's think I have a heart condition. I will go to the emergency room on a private clinic, and my policy, my smaller policy, my private policy is $10,000 coverage. If I am under the limit or near to the limit of my private coverage, I will request my clinic history, I will request the certificate from my private insurance, and I will request to move to the IESS hospital to continue my treatment. It will be more easy, because on that way you not will need to start on IESS from the general practitioner. You are coming from private clinic with a diagnostic. Then the doctors will already know what's happening with you, and definitely everything will works better, will be more easy and more faster. You know, then if you have important pre-existing conditions, keep in mind that you can combine public with private insurance and will works together. Now, if you have a few pre-existing conditions and you are around 65, 70 years old, you can join a plan that will cover you $50,000 privately, that is enough money to pay any emergency, or $100,000 plans that will cover again any cancer treatment, heart condition. It's a good amount of money, okay, but for new conditions, not related with pre-existing conditions. But another way to save some money, to keep good coverage and keep good rates under private insurance, could be combine two plans. What type of plans? A smaller plan, like my suggestion to combine with IESS. I will use this plan, smaller plan, but combine it with a major medical plan. To give you an idea, $10,000 smaller plan with $10,000 deductible and coverage up to $500,000. Why? It could be convenient for you. Because major medical plan will cost you less, or will be less expensive, because the deductible. I have $10,000 deductible, that you know, in Ecuador $10,000 deductible could be a higher amount of money. But then my major medical will be less expensive, but I am also getting a $10,000 plan that not is a higher amount of money, and also will be cheaper. Then I have a cheaper option with major medical and a cheaper option with a supplementary plan. It will match, it will works together. What's the advantage combining two plans? Both plans will cover me pre-existing conditions. Then, if I got two plans privately, the smaller plan, $10,000, will pay for pre-existing conditions, and the major medical plan will pay for pre-existing conditions. Remember, 20 Ecuadorian basic salaries, around 9,000, let's keep it in 9,500. Then I will get $19,000 to cover my pre-existing conditions, and I will keep my rates down. If you are healthy, if you doesn't have any pre-existing conditions, of course, could be a good idea. Keep one plan in one company, $50,000 or $100,000, and that's it, you know? This is the information that I can share with you. Thank you so much to watch the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because later I will explain you how to join the IESS, and also I will make a video to show you where the health minister medical centers are located in each city. Okay, and you will be able to find where you can get vaccines, for example, or if one of your friends doesn't have money and doesn't have insurance, suggest those places to be able to get medical assistance. Thank you so much for watching the video. My name is Carlos Ramirez from Blue Box Insurance Broker. We are on the insurance market for 14 years with offices in Manta and Cuenca, a full bilingual team at your complete service, and of course, my pleasure to serve you. Contact me directly if you have any question. Thank you for watching the video.